and welcome to the Scale Modelling Cafe and this week's update. Lots to talk about this week. Been very busy on the channel and a few new releases to talk about amongst other things, so we'll get straight on with it then. So the final part of the Zukimura Phantom went up last weekend. That was nice to get finally the whole project up and delivered. What I have done as well, and I think I mentioned this last week or maybe the week before, is I've edited the whole lot down into about a 45-minute video with some final reveal blah at the end. And I'm going to set that to music and I will release that in due course. And it's something that I want to do going forward, is break the project down how I've normally done it. Normally cockpit construction, painting, weathering, finishing. But I think it would be quite nice to have a sort of one shot all the way through from start to finish, edited highlights if you like, a bit more along the style of some of the other channels that are out there, just as an extra resource really. So expect to see some of those coming along in due course as well. That means that part one of the this little thing, the Eduard 109, will go up on, when did I put that up for? Sunday, I think, which will be the introductory video where I talk about some of the camouflage schemes I'm going to do. Plot spoiler, two of the ones that I chose, I didn't do them. I did two different ones, but never mind. The concept was roughly the same anyway. And so that's that, and some of the aftermarket bits and pieces talking about that. That goes up on Sunday, and then the week after will be the cockpit video. And then along with the project. Right, also on the channel is, so I did the sort of rant, the original rant video, and some of the comments were that I wasn't ranty enough. And when Airfix dropped the announcement of the Seeking, we had the usual boring, it's not my scale, why have they done it, you know, just the usual bleating. It really kind of wound me up a bit because it happens every single time. So I did a proper rant video and I do get ranty on it, ranty rant face. It's been really rather popular, which has been really pleasing, and I've had some great comments on there. As you may know, I reply to every single comment that that gets put up. And it's just taken me a fair while to wade through all those because I've recently just got back from work, being away for a few days. So note to self, don't put up a ranty video just before I go away for 4 days because, yeah, it takes me a very long time to catch up with all these comments. So I'm pleased with how that's gone down. There will be more. Right, and the other one, I've done a chat video for this coming week. In the My Favourite Kits series. This one's a little bit different because all the kits from this particular manufacturer are some of my favourites, and that is Armour, and it's quite nicely timed because the Armour Hurricane in 48 scale has just hit the shelves. Mine is on its way pretty much as we speak. I'm hoping to have that kit out here in Saudi in a few weeks because a friend of mine has gone home. I've sent it to his parents' house and he's going to be visiting them, and then he'll bring it back out with him. So hopefully I can do a sprue tour video on that, and it will be going into the build pile at some point soon. I've got some markings masks coming, and I've got a decal sheet coming. So I will have a look at the surface detail and I will pick the best medium to get the markings on that because there's a mix of raised rivets, go and see the ramp video, and recessed detail and whatnot. So I'll have a look to see what I think will work best with that. I know some people have already said about the Hurricane that they're a bit worried about the raised rivet detail, even though it's accurate. I will give you my opinion when I see the kit in the flesh and when I come to paint and do the markings. Right, so that's the channel update. Projects. the 109s, both of them are finished. I gave a bit of a debrief last time, so I won't go over it again. Suffice to say, if I pick it up very carefully, here is the JG53, or was it JG51? My mind's gone. I think it might be 53, the Picasso. That's this one. Drew made a good point that the early Fs in the sort of E schemes, the RLM 65 7102, looks a bit odd on an F. And I kind of have to agree, actually, because this sort of shape, the more streamlined shape, was, you know, more synonymous with the mid-war grey, 74, 75, 76. And this scheme sort of more sort of the E. So it is a bit of an anomaly. But I really like this one because of the yellow nose and the green sort of field applied 71 over the top of the nose. Now this aeroplane, there's lots of, well, I say lots, there's a very famous colour photograph of this one in winter whitewash, where they just did the whitewash over the green on the top. Obviously I've already done the winter whitewash, but I thought it'd be quite neat to do a sort of a classic winter whitewash scheme, but before they put the winter whitewash on it. So that's this one, and I'm really pleased with how the weathering turned out, and it's really a nice model. Having done both of these and used some of the Eduard decals, I have filmed a reaction video, if you like, on Eduard decals, and that will be coming out on the channel in a few weeks. I've got a few chat videos in the queue, so I don't want to bombard you all with loads of videos, so I just want to spread them out, maybe one sort of chat video a week, or I'm not going to promise one chat video every week, but no more than one chat video a week, because I don't want to bore you with content. So there's nothing on the bench at the moment, which means there's going to be a new project, and I'm going to start this one. This is the Clear Prop 48 scale H75N, the Curtis Hawk 75N. I've already done a sprue tour video on this. I did that quite a few months ago, so you can go and see that. I'll put a link at the end screen. Suffice to say, it's a beautiful kit. The surface detail and the rivets are so fine. In fact, they're so fine in some areas they're sort of missing. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of a repair job on there. And it's a highly detailed kit, and I've been wanting to do this one for quite a while. It's as you can see, it's got that classic sort of 1930s look. If you don't know, the H75N is effectively a Curtis 75 with fixed undercarriage, which made it cheaper, and it was primarily done for the export market, and a few countries bought it. I think Argentina and Thailand certainly bought it, amongst others. And it's a really interesting aeroplane. So I'm going to go and do that one. The ones I've seen online already built up, they're all fairly clean. So I want to do a bit of a weathering job on that. So using a little bit of artistic license, maybe, because maybe they were kept quite clean. They did see action, actually, out in the Far East. So a really interesting project. Now I really wish Clear Prop would do the Curtis 75, the ones with the retractable undercarriage. I think that would be a really popular kit. So if you're listening, Clear Prop, please, can we have a P36 based on those molds? That would be really nice. I'm actually going to start that one once I've edited this video. That's that. Right, on with the news then. Starting off with, so a friend of mine, Mike Reeves, out in Merca, he's got a company called Phase Hanger Resins. You may have heard of them. I used his 3D printed pylons on the Zucchimura Phantom. They are beautiful, by the way, hollow. Just amazing detail. He's just announced a 1/12th scale Aces 2 ejection seat, and he's really proud of it, and I can see why, because it is perfectly detailed, even to the point where he's done the sheepskin cushion cover things, all moulded in. It looks utterly amazing. So that would be a great standalone painting project, and you can really sort of get your teeth into some sort of painting, paint effects and whatnot on that, and it looks absolutely amazing. So yeah, go check that out. It would be fantastic if you could get a figure, to get a 1/12 figure, pilot figure to go in that. I think that would be brilliant. So Mike, you know, get on with it. Right. Yeah, so Eduard, they do, if you probably know, obviously, they do a monthly newsletter, and you get some really good gouge in there. I love the newsletter. It's like an electronic magazine. They, in the blah, Vladimir, the owner, does an introduction thing about what's coming up, normally about what's coming in that month, but also occasionally looking forward. They said in there that they're going to America to the IPMS show, and while they're there, they are going to be scanning 3 P40s. So I'd imagine their P40s are different versions. Who knows what they are? But he also said that they're doing it just to confirm a few minor details, and most of it is done. Now that's really exciting. So I'm imagining that around sort of Christmas time, New Year, when announcements for 2024 are being made, that Eduard are going to next year do a series of 48 scale P40s. I'm guessing at 48th, and no doubt there'll be, you know, exceptionally researched, fully riveted airframes, fantastic, and it'll put the Hasegawa one, you know, it'll be replacing the Hasegawa ones. Now, obviously, Hobby 2000 are releasing them as well. You can get them. They are really nice kits, but they're modular. So different inserts around the nose, obviously separate tails. A lot of people don't like that. Personally, I found it fine on those. If I'm honest, I use super glue, sand it down, rescribe, and I do a full rivet job anyway. And yeah, the Hasegawa one's a really good kit. But I can imagine with their doctrine, if you like, we'll be getting one piece fuselage, different fuselages, different wings, different whatevers for the different versions. So that's really cool. I really hope we get an early one, a B/C, we get the classic E, and we get the Ns, and hopefully in due course the Merlin powered ones as well. That is going to be really cool. That's Eduard. Right, Azure from, or just Azure, I think this one. Maybe it's Azure / from, I don't know actually. They have released now their Super Mystère. It's the French version. There are the Israeli versions coming later on down the line. They were modified, apparently. I have no clue about the aeroplane. But it's a really pretty aeroplane, I think, the Super Mystère. So that's out, and it looks like a really, really nice kit. So go and check that one out. That's on the shelves. New company, Letaki. They are in Ukraine. So fantastic to see a new company from Ukraine starting up. Ukraine seems to be a bit of a hotbed of exceptional modelling manufacturers at the moment, not least Clearpro. They have announced a 1/72 scale Areo, which, yeah, but obscure that. It's the Yugoslavian indigenous fighter bomber. Looks a little bit like a Jag, and I know one of my instructors when I went through flying training, who was an F3 mate, they were paranoid that they were going to actually shoot down a Jag instead of one of these Areo things. But that looks really nice. There's some CAD images, and yeah, no idea when that's going to come out. But yeah, really exciting to see a new manufacturer out of Ukraine, because their kits tend to be exceptional. And the last one I'm going to talk about, Laminar Flow Design. So he has designed a conversion kit for the Tamiya Spitfire in 32nd scale for the Griffin engined aeroplane. So the bobble top Mark 14, and I really, really wanted one of those, and because I was in work and things like that, and it was about 45 minutes after the product went live on sale, I went on there very excitingly and they'd all sold out. So I was very disappointed because I want to do a Mark, convert it into a Mark 18 and do one of the 208 Squadron Middle Eastern ones in the slate grey and dark earth. Yeah, so I kind of missed out on that. But luckily, he said he was very surprised about how quickly they all sold out as well. And he's doing a second production run. So I'm looking out for that. The next release is going to be the Highback Mark 14, which I think is going to be even more... that's going to be even more popular. So that's coming out. And he's also just announced a Mark 12, which I think is going to be less popular. But there's something about those short-nosed Griffin aeroplanes that are really cool. Just pugnacious with the clip wings and all that. So that looks really cool as well. I put a comment on there saying I was holding out for some Seafires, and the response was fairly encouraging. I would love a Mark 17 conversion in 32nd scale. That would be amazing. I'd settle for the 15, but the 17 is where it's at. I think that's a really, really pretty aeroplane. And I'm wondering if we'll see a PR19 as well, maybe. But canopies, that's a little bit more tricky, isn't it? We shall see. If you can't do that, sort of cast, because obviously that's got to be cast resin, then maybe he could outsource it, maybe to Alicat, who do some really nice clear resin canopies and things. Who knows? That would be amazing. You'd have to get that on the 17 as well, because I think only the first dozen aeroplanes had the old windscreen, and then they went to the sort of rain shedding curved windscreen. But at least they're sliding canopies, I say. Right, so that's laminar flow design. Really exciting there. Quite an expensive project though. It's about, I think it's about €80 for the conversion kit, and obviously so what's that? It's about 80 quid, isn't it? I guess plus your postage, and then you've got to buy the donor kit, the Tamir kit on top of that. You get that for, it's like RRP's 130 odd quid, but I'm sure you can get it for about 100 quid if you shop around. So very expensive project, but yeah, I'm really very, very keen for that. There we are. So that about wraps it up for this week. Look out for all the stuff that's coming to the channel. It's a busy time. Look out for the videos on the Eduard 109s. That'll take Sunday evenings for the next few weeks, and then hopefully straight into that. And then after that, I've got quite a cool project coming after this one. So stay tuned. Right, I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.